UFC on ESPN 9. I don't even know what number it is anymore these days.
It's ESPN
Um,
9, yeah.
yeah, whatever it is. Tyrone Woodley versus Gilbert Burns. This card is looking a little light. However, the main event does look pretty good to me. Like from a fan perspective, like if you look at this entire card, there's not really like many names on here.
Yeah,
Um,
not a lot of big names, I hear you.
yeah, yeah. But luckily for us, anyone who's listening to this don't really care about the names. We're looking at betting opportunities. So, as far as betting opportunities, Have you looked at this card and seen anything at all?
Yeah, I got quite a few leans.
Okay,
There's no plays that I want to like unload on, but yeah.
okay. For myself, there's a lot of question marks regarding a lot of picks. So, I might have like maybe two or three picks. I'll reveal them as we go. Um, so first off, that's what we do here. We break down the fights from the prelims all the way up to the main event, and break down the skill sets and analyze and how they match up together. So let's begin. The first fight of the night is going to be a bantamweight fight: Vince Morales versus Chris Gutierrez. The odds are even; they're 110 apiece. From what I understand, is Chris Gutierrez is a much more of a kickboxer, and Vince Morales is more of a boxer. And that's pretty much how this fight's gonna go. Like, who's gonna impose their game? Like, who is Morales gonna work his boxing, or is Chris Gutierrez gonna work his kicking at range? And we really don't know. So this fight, I originally, when I first saw it, I thought I was gonna, okay, that's gonna be an automatic over. So that's my initial thought. And if anybody knows me, I love taking overs. However, that over is currently sitting at like 320 or something like that, which is not something I'm willing to play. I did, however, get the fight goes to decision at negative 230 when the odds had just opened. So I did play that. However, like this fight, like dude, nobody's really gonna know who's gonna win this fight. Like to be honest, like you can't be heavy on either side because I think I've mentioned this before. Like, it's not really up to us to try and analyze this fight. Trying to break down the X's and O's and figure out who's going to win this fight. But it's really up to the three judges sitting in the ringside, and that's pretty much the fate of these two guys. Like, who's going to win this fight is up to the three judges because it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a split decision either way. So, I mean, again, like I said, the over is probably the pick, but it's pretty expensive, so it's not something I would recommend somebody laying the juice on. But that's pretty much it for this fight. Just because Chris Gutierrez, I'm actually leaning towards him because Chris, he's got he's got some really good low kicks, and Vince Morales when he fought what is it Benito Lopez in his last fight, he was getting his leg chopped in that fight, and Morales, like I said, he's a really good boxer, but he's very heavy on that front leg, and he didn't really adjust much when Benito was chopping his leg down. And Chris, he's really good with those low calf kicks as well. So if Chris is able to land like a couple of hard ones there, I could see that kind of slowing Morales down and really fucking with his movement. So
What?
I'm actually gonna lean Chris Gutierrez here. Have you looked into this one yet?
Yeah, I watched a bit of tape on each guy, and I agree with what you're saying. I think it's like you said, it's going to be a very close fight. It's almost surely going to end up in the hands of the judges. I'll be so
Mhm.
surprised if this finishes in the distance somehow. I just feel like
Yeah,
I feel like Gutierrez is just like tougher. Like he's more blood and guts. I think he's physically probably a bit stronger. So I think he's going to win the decision, but like you say, it'll be close enough that like either the judges are so bad it could go either way. But
yeah,
I think Gutierrez will win the fight.
yeah, and you know what? And looking at Chris Gutierrez's record, like I see there's a lot of split decisions on his record, and I'm guessing that's the only kind of thing it's kind of scaring me off. And what I'm assuming is that he doesn't pressure very much, and he's like kind of content to really stay at range and just throw a ton of feints. Like he's always feinting that front kick. He's feinting like pretty much everything. Like He switches stances a lot. He's like 80% of the time he's feinting, then he throws. And because he does that so much, like he likes his space and he doesn't ever like push the pace, guys are able to like just what I'm assuming is guys are just able to push the pace on him and kind of like get him to move backwards, and that's why maybe some judges kind of gave him some split decisions on his record. So not something you can really rely on because I could easily see Vince Morales like there's a 10-second clapper comes on and Vince comes out with combinations, the end of the round, and next thing judge saw that in the last 10 seconds and gave him the round,
Totally.
and
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
and Vince like he could be a very good I see a lot of good fundamentals in him. Like he's got a really good overhand right. He's got a great jab. He's got he's fundamentally sound when it comes to the boxing, and he goes to the body. He throws in combinations. Especially when he moves forward, like he throws 4 or 5 punch combinations, but after he's done, he just backs off and resets.
Yeah.
And so like he at times can be very very what's the word I'm looking for like like he just lets off the gas, just like both of these guys.
Yeah, I feel like both of them can kind of just sit back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's split decision either way. Um, but both of them are pretty decent fighters. I like both guys' games, but I don't see either guy like moving up too high up in the ladder at bantamweight just because of their limitations.
Yeah.
Like Chris Gutierrez, he doesn't have much of a ground game. Like he has a couple. He can do some get ups. Like I remember him getting taken down by Rayoni Barcelos and him throwing elbows off the ground and cutting Barcelos open. So yeah, Gutierrez, he's a dangerous dude. With his his kicks if he lands them, but yeah, these pretty decent fight. So yeah, lean on Gutierrez, but most likely the over. All right, moving up. So we have Casey Kenny versus Luis Smoka. This is contested at flyweight, I believe. Um, Casey Kenny is negative 270. The comeback on Luis Smoka is plus 230. Odds are pretty damn wide. However, I do expect Casey Kenny to out wrestle and outstrike Luis Smoka here. But those odds are a bit too wide, and I wouldn't recommend laying juice on negative 270 on a on a flyweight fight where two guys are just gonna be like anytime I see flyweights fight, it's always like at least 60-70% of the time the way it plays out in my head is like two squirrels fighting over a net,
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, because flyweights they're not that they're 125 pounds. They're called flyweights for a reason, and you don't see very often that one flyweight holds the other flyweight down. They're always
Yeah.
scrambling, they're always moving around, they have high
Word.
energy. So it's not it's not very often you see a guy laying praying each other. So I think this is the same case. I see Smoker, squirming out of bad positions and putting himself in a bad position, which is the reason why I think he's going to lose this fight. But putting himself in bad positions, getting out, scrambling, yada yada, this and that. So yeah, my pick is going to be Casey Kenny. Casey's he's got some really good wrestling. I mean, they both have similar skill sets. I mean, they're decent. They're okay strikers. They're mainly grapplers. But yeah, I see Casey Kenny just getting better positioning over Smoker, who tends to put himself in bad positions. And yeah, and then I think Casey Kenny is actually a pretty decent striker himself. So I think he has him beat there as well. So the over is pretty safe as well. However, it's pretty juiced out at negative 265. So I don't know about that one, but I'll take Casey Kenny by decision. I think that prop is at negative 118, which is kind of lame as well. But man, what are you gonna do about it? Juiced out.
Yeah, word.
Yeah. Like, do you have a lean on that one at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Casey Kenny's the right side. Like, he's probably going to win, but that
At
price
270
is,
though?
yeah, the price is crazy. I can't
Fuck
bet it.
all that shit.
And there's so much questions around Smolka. Like, I feel like he kind of peaked, and now I don't know where his head is at. Like, I feel like mentally there's some question marks with him. I really like, what's the other guy's name? Kenny. I really
Kenny.
like Kenny's
Yeah.
game. Like, I respect his game so much. Like, he's good everywhere. He just took that L to Dashvili, which obviously, like, I mean, whatever. It was a close fight, but yeah, I think Kenny wins. But yeah, I'm not sure how to bet it. Probably the over safe, but like I just
Yeah,
part of me wants to bet Smolka because I'm like this kid's game. Like
yeah, he is game. He's always game.
if Smolka shows up and it's like his mind is in it and he's been training so hard and Kenny's on an off night, like Smolka could win.
Yeah,
Like nobody
no,
expects it,
definitely.
but like they're so game. It's like you said, these fights at flyweight, it's going to be close, but yeah. So I agree with the line, but I just think it's too much disrespect a little bit.
Yeah, you know what too, and if you're if like what if Casey Kenny comes in here with not the best training camp, and what if he does gas out eventually, and like what if he does gas out, you know,
Yeah,
and then Smoker comes out with a dogged game and you know ends up doing something flashy at the last 10 seconds or something like that. So
yeah.
who knows? It's not a good price to play at, but Smoker by decision is plus 400. If he does win, it's that.
But he's like Smolka's like when I first saw him and started following him, I was high on him, and then I realized like, oh wait, he's not that good. But like when he's on, he's fucking on. That's the
Yeah, he's
thing.
aggressive.
He's super good when he's on, but then when he's not
Yeah.
on, he's just gonna lose. So it could go either way.
Yeah, so yeah, if he does win, it's his aggression and plus 400. That's his decision line. So that's not something I would sleep on. So all right, moving on. So we have a flyweight fight between Brandon Royval versus Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott is on a bit of a slide. He is on let's see here. He's on a two fight with. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, the UFC likes him. I don't see how he could have any you know I think he's still got some job security. So Tim Elliott's the favorite. He's negative 170. The newcomer Royval is at plus 150. We know what Tim Elliott does. He's a wild man. He's another guy who's a really good wrestler, but he's not the type to hold guys down. Just like I said, flyweight fights. These
Yeah,
guys aren't holding each other down. They're actually actively scrambling and moving and these two squirrels fighting over a net.
yeah, exactly.
And I expect this fight to play out the exact same way. Two squirrels fighting over a net. And Tim Elliott has the better wrestling here, but Royval is the type of guy that's going to welcome the fight off of his back. He's extremely aggressive with arm bars and rubber guard and just all types of shit off his back. And he's a pretty dangerous dude. And I think this fight should actually be negative 110 apiece. Um, and so I mean theoretically, I mean, there's some value on Royval here at plus 150. However, yeah, this is a really close fight, and I really don't know who's going to win this fight. So, for the sake of dog odds, I'm going to go with Royval, but I'm not really putting too much on it. Like if I'd probably put some action play on this, but I'm not going to put anything significant on it. Um, so yeah, I mean, both guys are going to be wanting to like Royval. Like I said, he's a dangerous guy because he's gonna throw with like recklessness because if guys take him down, he doesn't really mind guys taking him down just because how dangerous he is off his back. So I can see him, just really just throwing haymakers or throwing some really bad intentful shots and. Tim Elliott has a really good chin. He when he fought Askarov, I thought he had him out. You remember that fight?
I know. I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, so I think Askar hit him with a huge shot, and then I think Tim Elliott went out for a second, and then before he could hit the floor, he just woke himself back up and just got himself back in there. So this guy's one tough son of a bitch. Um, and he's a really big flyweight too. So I mean that could play out in this fight if Elliott's able to kind of have his way with Royval on the ground, and if he can nullify his guard, so that's kind of a way he could win, possibly by decision. But there's Royval, like I said, he's very dangerous, so a very close fight. So those are my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I definitely like Royval by not by decision, just his money line, like plus 150. I feel like that's like I favor Royval to win straight up. Like I feel like
Oh yeah,
yeah, like I feel like if you look at Tim Elliott's career, his what is he, 15-10. He had his shot at DJ, he
yeah,
lost.
he's very inconsistent.
So like, I feel like he's kind of just like a carnival fighter now. Like I feel like he peaked, and he probably in it, his subconscious mind, he knows like okay, like he's had a few losses. He's probably on his way out, kind of. Whereas I feel like Royval's on the other side. This kid is hungry. He's into the UFC,
He's
and
27 years old.
yeah, 27 years old. he's hungry. He wants blood. You know what I mean? And some of the tape I watched on this kid, like his finishes are awesome. Like I watched a great armbar. I watched a standing finish.
He fought Casey Kenny
Oh yeah, he took an L to Casey Kenny,
in a 5 round fight,
which
which was a
honestly is probably a good thing. Like when you go 5 rounds with Casey Kenny, like I've got so much respect for Kenny. That's nothing but good. Like he probably took a lesson. That was a lesson. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I like the Norval to win. Like obviously, like you said, the squirrel over and that thing is 100% true. The judges, who fucking knows? But I like this kid. When I watched tape on him, I was like, fuck, I like this kid, man. Like you think, oh, he's only BJJ, and maybe his stand up sucks, but he's dangerous on the feet too. So I'm high on him.
Mhm.
Like it's yeah, you can't make a big bet, but at plus 150, fuck, I'm on Royval all day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the odds are, like I said, I think they should be even. So that's my opinion. So
Word.
yeah. All right. Moving on, we have who's on here? Who's next? Clifton Abreu versus this is a light heavyweight bout. Clifton Abreu versus Jamal Hill. The odds on that is pretty close to even. Jamal Hill is negative 120 and Abreu is plus 100. Wait, his name's not Jamal Hill. It's
Mahal.
Jamahal.
Just call him Jamal, bro.
Come on,
Nobody,
man.
nobody
Come
got,
on,
nobody got time
man.
for that extra H, bro. Just call him Jamal.
Bruh. His mama. Come on, bruh. Just call him Jamama Hill. Come
Jamal.
on, Jamama Hill. I'm gonna call this guy Jamama Hill.
Jamal.
Jamama named you Jamama. Anyways, I'm just gonna call him Jamal Hill. I'm not gonna call him. That's kind of disrespectful, but whatever. Hill is, watching him on tape on like some YouTube fights. I thought, okay, this guy's only been in the fight game for like 2 3 years. He's pretty green. I question his ground game and things like that. And when he made his debut, he actually looked pretty good to me. He fought like kind of like a veteran, and he's lanky, he's long, he doesn't throw too hard. He actually he throws like a high volume, like a high paced striking fight, and he looks pretty good to me, um and he's got a really hard, like he's pretty tough. Like he's got a really rock solid chin, and that's actually pretty a good trait to have at a 205, or it's 205. Yeah, it's 205. Yeah, that's a good trait to have. Like you don't really have to be necessarily like that skilled at 205. You just got to be really like well, yeah, 185 and up they're really weird divisions. Like you can kind of get away with like certain attributes. And Jamal Hill, he's got the chin for it, and he's got the length. He's got some good cardio and throws a lot of volume. So I could definitely see him hanging out in the UFC and getting some wins here. Clifton Abreu, on the other hand, he is a Brazilian dude. Both of these guys are actually southpaws, I believe. Abreu is a jiu-jitsu fighter. He's got some serviceable stand-up. He's a really tough dude. I remember him getting cracked in the nose by Ankalaev, and he still just kept coming forward and doing his thing. And they're both pretty young. They're both like similar. Abreu is actually a younger guy. He's 27 years old, and he's got like he's been fighting for 8 years. He's been fighting since he was a teenager, and Jamal Hill's been only pro for 3 years. So definitely a experience discrepancy here. But Jamal, like I said, I kind of like him. He fights kind of like a veteran. Very close fight. It's really hard to tell how this fight's gonna go, but I like the odds are even for a reason, and I see Jamal Hill maybe either winning by decision, or Abreu will either find a submission somewhere in this fight, or maybe edge out a split decision himself. So really close fight. I can't really pick a winner here. So I mean, if there's, I mean, just to look at some odds here, maybe Abreu by no scorecard, no action. That's at negative 145. So I think if the fight finishes, it's because Abreu like gets on his back and gets the rear naked choke or something.
Yeah.
But Jamal, he's not a big puncher, so he's more of a volume guy. And like I said, Abreu's a pretty tough guy. He went 3 rounds with Ankalaev. He fought another Russian dude who he lost to by split decision, a 14-0 Russian dude, who I thought he actually could have won that fight too. So Abreu is a pretty good fighter. What's is there an Abreu decision line here? 257. Okay, that's pretty decent as well. So, um, yeah, very, 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 very close fight. So, hard to really lean either way.
Yeah, I kind of like I want to bet Klidson Abreu because I like him. He's like BJJ guy and like he seems cool, but at the same time, I think Jamal Hill's gonna win because he's kind of like he's almost like a poor man's. When I was watching him, I was thinking about Lyoto Machida. He's kind of like a poor man's Machida. Like he's very good at distance, and he kind of pauses and he keeps distance, and then he'll strike. But he's very like his distance awareness is very
He
good.
looks like he's more active than Machida, that's for sure. Machida's more of a counter striker, but this guy actually throws first, which is what I kind of like. He doesn't wait; he actually throws first.
Yeah, and I think this fight all comes down to Bruce takedowns, like because he's a BJJ guy. So if he can
Yeah,
get him down, and I'm making some assumptions about Jamal Hill because he's like a black guy and he's a striker. So I'm assuming his jiu-jitsu is not good. I don't know if that's true, but like he's a guy who has no sub wins. He almost only boxes. So I'm assuming
right.
his
I
his
mean,
jiu-jitsu is not that good. So it's like if I feel like if Abreu could get him down, he probably can sub this guy. But I don't know,
yeah.
you know. So
I mean,
yeah.
like again, he's only been a pro for 3 years. Like I'm, you know how long it takes to get a black belt, or just work your
Be good at
grappling game up,
jujitsu. Yeah,
that high.
yeah,
So I mean, it's kind of interesting because I've seen Abreu like duck under punches and shoot like a double leg and really catch guys, like reaching. But I don't think Jamal is the type of guy who reaches that far out and really throws
exactly.
like
Yeah,
hard shots. So it's gonna be hard to catch him off guard, with that, like a getting underneath his legs and taking him down from there. But which I don't doubt that Clidson Abreu can do. I can see him getting to the back. Um, but it won't be easy. So man, it's gonna be a really close. I'm just guessing it might be a close fight. But if the fight does finishes, I think it's Abreu getting the submission. So
yeah.
the, yeah,
I
so
don't. One other thing I don't like about Abreu is his fitness. Like he always looks soft to me. He's big. He kind of gasses out too. So I want to see him on the scale. Like if he comes in looking amazing, then it's gonna be a question mark for me. But like if he looks normal, like kind of soft, I think Jamal's just a way better athlete, and I think he's gonna pop move pop. It's gonna be Abreu who has to find the takedown and find the sub. And if he
yeah,
doesn't, I think Jamal just stick and moves him like all night.
yeah, like sticks him. Yeah, exactly. And like one of my basic principles as well, and when it comes to betting is like if there's a guy that has the better ground game, like usually they're like they should be favored. And in this case, Abreu has a much better ground game. So like ideally, I probably want to be betting Abreu, but there's I don't know something in the back of my head just tells me that it's gonna be like a really odd like heavyweight fight, and I just can't get myself to do it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
my gut tells me Jamal's gonna win. Like I just don't think Abreu is
Yeah,
like
for
is
some
like
reason I don't know.
athletic enough. Like his physical, look at his body. He just doesn't look athletic. Like he doesn't dive in, grab that double leg, get him down to the ground. I think after round one, Abreu's going to be a bit gassed, and he's got those fucking
Yeah,
black athlete genes. Like he's going to go all day.
black athleticism is what I call it.
Black athleticism, dude, for
Yeah,
real, dude.
but just thinking back, Darko Stosic actually got Jamal Hill down like several times. He just couldn't really hold him down.
Yeah,
Because Jamal was kind of hustling. He hustles like when he's on his back, he hustles back to his
yeah,
feet. So,
yeah,
um, but Abreu. I mean, man, Abreu's been choking Russian dudes out on the Russian circuit, and like who knows? Maybe he might be able to catch that submission. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna kick myself in the feet if Abreu does get him down and shows his BJJ superiority, whatever,
yeah.
his
I don't,
dominance.
I don't,
I'll be like kicking myself and be like,
I
fuck,
don't
why didn't
think
I take that?
I don't think he gets him down. But if he does get him down, Jamal's probably going to be in some trouble, man.
Yeah, yeah. If Brave lands on top and he's like working his game, like yeah, Jamal Hill's in trouble.
Big trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a light heavyweight fight. Who knows? No strong line either way. So yeah. All right, moving on. We have a what? Okay, I guess this is a new fight they're adding in. Daniel Rodriguez versus some new guy. What's his name here? Fill me in at all, or you know who this guy is?
No, that's the one guy that I didn't really know about on this card. Like this Gabriel Green. I don't really.
Gabriel Green. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who he is. I haven't had a chance to look him up yet. So it's not really much I could add. Looking at his record, he has two knockout losses, one to Jalen Turner, who and then another dude. He looks like a finisher though. He's got 9 finishes on his record. So all of this guy's fights has finished. So 100%. Rodriguez was supposed to fight. Oh boy, the quick turnaround cat that we like. What's his name, man? The black guy.
Who's that?
our boy, the freaking. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. Rodriguez was supposed to fight the guy who. Oh my god, the funny guy.
I don't know, man.
Come on, man, you know this. This is killing me. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Um, whatever his name is, I bet you people at home's like, man, come on, man, you know this. He fought last week, bro. Come on, he fought like 2 weeks ago. The,
Yeah, I don't
the
know who you
funny
mean,
dude.
bro.
So this is a replacement fight. So Gabriel Green is replacing this black guy who uh is killing me here. Okay, so let's the name will come to me in the middle of this. So Rodriguez, he looks like a really good fighter actually. He's kind of coming into the game a little old though. He's 33 years old, but he seems like a guy who has a lot of life experience. I think I read somewhere that he was incarcerated at one point. So just kind of feeling his vibe a little bit. He seems like one of those like he seems like a hood dude, like he's seen some shit, in his life.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, like those type of guys, and like kind of like a Mike Perry vibe to him, and he's got some really good boxing. Yeah, I really like his boxing, and it looks like he's got some good jiu-jitsu too, because he caught a guillotine on him, Tim Means after cracking him. So I like what I see from him, and I actually fuck, what is this dude's name? Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
yeah. I like Rodriguez, like his
Kevin
boxing.
Holland.
Oh, okay.
He's supposed to fight Kevin Holland,
Oh, okay.
and I was kind of mad at the game. I really like Kevin Holland, but I really like this Daniel Rodriguez dude too. Because I remember after seeing him finish Tim Means, like, hey, I'm gonna actually bet this Daniel Rodriguez guy next time. I actually like his game. But then when he got matched up with Kevin Holland, like, oh crap, like two guys that I actually kind of like. But now that they're not fighting anymore, yeah, man, this fight could probably finish. I'm guessing Rodriguez is probably gonna knock this dude out. This guy only had a couple of days notice, so um, don't really know much about him, so I can't really say much about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I liked Rodriguez going into the Means fight. Like I was kind of like betting Rodriguez because I was like, oh, he can
Hmm.
find a way to win, and he was like a steep dog, and
Yeah, he
he did
was.
he did it, man. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm a Rodriguez fan now until he shows me
yeah,
he's not the guy. Like he just is very calm. That's the thing. He's a little older, right? So he doesn't have that youth and athleticism, but he's very comfortable in the pocket. He's very comfortable striking. Like he's just calm and
yeah.
collected, and I like that. Like he's
He looks like he has a lot of life experience. Is what it seems like.
exactly word. I agree. So
He's not
he's not
blinded by the
stressed.
life.
Like he's in the middle of a fight, but he's not stressed about it. He's just fighting. So the one concern is maybe his gas tank. Like he might not. Like he's. I don't know how well he's going to do in deep waters, but yeah, I'm going to be riding. What's the price on Rodriguez? I like him to win, but I didn't even look at his price.
It's major, major. It's pretty high, like
Oh
400 or
no,
something.
no, I'm not betting him at minus 360. Wow, it's way
Yeah,
closer
so
than that, but I do
yeah,
like him. But I don't know that much about the other kids. So
yeah,
like Green might be
yeah,
pumped up to fight in the UFC and find a way to win. Plus 300 now. I'm looking at Green, man. That's so steep, bro.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Like
see, we'll
I
see what
remember
happens.
when he was fighting. I'm a really big Tim Means fan, and when I was watching tape on the Rodriguez cat, I was like, damn, like I love Tim Means and all, but like I'm not gonna bet this fight. Like I actually I wanted to put some money on Rodriguez, but like I couldn't put myself to do it just because I kind of I don't know why I'm a fan of Tim Means so much, but yeah, just looking at his fights, like damn, this guy's gonna give like he could get the upset here, and
Yeah,
there he was, he got the upset at like plus 250 or something. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. Nobody really knows much about this other cat. I mean, unless you do. So, but yeah, I like Daniel Rodriguez here, so he'll probably win this fight. All right, moving on. We let's see here. What the hell? Okay, a female fight. That's gonna be headlining the prelims here. You know how whenever they have like female fights, like some low level females like headlining over that shit, like it just grinds my gears, dude. Caitlin Chukagian versus Antonina Shevchenko, the less talented sister. Um, Fuck
just,
this fight, dude.
just
Like,
true,
I'm
dude.
not even gonna break this shit down. Like, it's two bums fighting. That's all that matters. The odds are negative 130 for Shevchenko. Chuk, Chuk, whatever the fuck her name is. It's plus 110. The fight's gonna go to decision. You know, Chukagian likes to punch air, kick air, and Shevchenko doesn't have much of a ground game. However, she did get an armbar in her last fight again against that one chick. So maybe maybe her ground game is improving. Working with her sister. So Chukagian went and tried to pull guard on Valentina and ended up getting her ass beat. Like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, what the fuck? Like her strategy in a fucking title fight was to pull guard, bro. Like, and she's not even a guard puller; she's an air puncher. Like, and then all of a sudden, like that's her master plan.
Oh
Like,
fuck, dude.
fuck out of here with that shit. Like, man, I'm not even. Any thoughts on this one?
I agree with you. This is some bullshit fight like that. I don't care about really, but minus 550 on the over. That's probably one of the
Yeah,
steepest overs I've ever seen. Minus 550, dude. Most girls' fights are
yeah,
like minus 300 or something. Minus 550. That is so steep. Like, welcome to
yeah.
the juice era, boy.
Yep, shit ugly. If Chukagian can wrestle, then I could see her like winning this fight. But I don't think I've seen her wrestle before, so whatever. It's gonna be
Look, I agree. I don't want to break down
pretty.
this fight. I don't
Who
care that
cares? Who
much.
cares?
I don't care that
Yeah.
much. But like, I feel like Chukagian seems to win a lot of fights. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, she seems to find
Yeah.
ways to win, and I don't know why. I don't think she's good, but like, she just wins a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I have no clue who's gonna win this
Yeah. All right. So we'll keep pushing that ugly headliner. Oh, okay. So we have Mackenzie Dern versus Hannah Cyphers. Also a kind of a low level fight here. I mean, like Dern has something. She does have the jiu-jitsu, so. Dern is the heaviest favorite on this card, I think. She's negative 440. Come back on Cyphers is plus 350. The fight will either end up like Dern. She's got an overhand right, and that's pretty much all she has when it comes to the striking.
fight. Yeah.
But other than that, she's probably gonna try to take you down. Do what it do. Catch the rear naked choke or whatnot. That's probably what's either gonna happen here. She's either gonna like land that overhand right, get her to the ground and choke her out, or she's gonna like spend 3 rounds trying to be a striker or of some sort or something. I don't know, and ends up winning a decision. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, Cyphers, I mean, I think I've seen her. She has a pretty decent right hand as well, but that's pretty much all she throws is the right hand, and um, doesn't really have much on the ground. So um, I'm guessing Dern's probably either going to win by submission or decision.
Yeah, the only thing that has my attention is the plus 350 on Hannah Cyphers. Like I'm
Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not?
I'm like, okay, this is a girl fight. Like anything can happen in there, man. It's going to be ugly. Like Hannah Cyphers is not. There's nothing to write home about there. But fucking plus 350. That's a good price,
Yeah.
man. Like I want to bet that.
Darren went to a split decision with another girl that's not very good. Let's see here. What's the name? What the fuck is she? What is it? Ashley Yoder. She went to a split decision with Ashley Yoder.
Yeah. So like there you go. Split decision with fucking Ashley Yoder.
Yeah,
Like who the fuck is Ashley Yoder? Like this
yeah.
like yeah, that the other thing that's crazy is the over is minus 135, over 1.5 rounds.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see that. Actually, I'll take that. Yeah,
That's a crazy line, bro. Like so
over 1.5 for 135. I'll take that.
people just assuming Mackenzie Dern is going to jump on her and kill her. Like she wins like a lot of.
Well, that's
She
possible.
goes to decision a lot. Yeah, but I'm just saying, Mackenzie Dern goes to decision a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is
Yeah.
not like minus 135 on the over 1.5, not 2.5, over 1.5. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the over all fucking day, bro. That's a good price.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I forgot. I love overs. So yeah, I'll take that. I wouldn't put too much on it, but I'll definitely.
You
Uh,
girls, dude,
Darren has gone
Cyphers
over
isn't a slouch. Like
one,
she's okay. She's
two,
decent
three,
for
four, five.
girls.
So 5 out of 8 fights of Darren's have gone over.
Yeah.
Why not?
And look at Cypher. Like Cypher's she goes to the decision a lot too. Like she's gotten finished a few
Yeah,
times, but it's not like she's not like getting subbed all over the place.
yeah. I
So
mean, yeah. I don't mind that play at all.
that's
Over 1.5.
that's interesting. That's a fucking weird line.
Yeah. Fight starts round 2, negative 205. That's not too, that's. I'll take the over 1.5.
Yeah,
I'll take my chances
yeah.
on that. Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah. Same. Um, or ciphers by decision plus 570.
That's a good line too, because she's probably not going
Who
to
knows?
finish her,
Like,
right?
yeah. What if like Mackenzie like starts butt scooting or some shit like that? I don't know. It, either way, they're both not really that good. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Roosevelt Roberts versus Brock Weaver. This is a lightweight bout. Roosevelt is a huge favorite, negative 350, and the comeback on Weaver is plus 290. I like Roberts here. I think he's a really good prospect. I don't like Weaver. I've never liked Weaver, and I don't know why in the last fight everybody was on Weaver at like a really huge juiced out price. I mean, he ended up winning, I guess, but he was juiced like out at like 300
yeah.
or
He was
something like that.
losing
And
the fight
I,
too.
I don't see anything good about Weaver. Like, what's he good at? I don't even know. Like, for some reason, everybody was hyping him up, and people were talking about him. I don't know what it was. This guy,
Yeah,
I do not think he's UFC level. Like, he has a split decision win over Crazy Horse. What is that?
yeah.
He has a, and then
He also fought like Joe Riggs, dude. He fought Joe fucking Riggs, like 1,000-year-old Riggs.
yeah, and the guy like ages like 3 times faster than the normal human. And then even before the Crazy Horse fight, he goes to a split decision against a guy named Wesley Golden, and that Wesley Golden guy is 8-15.
Oh, wow.
Like, come on now, like, what is this? And and yeah, I don't think this guy is UFC level. And in the show, they fought that Mexican dude, and he was getting his leg chopped up. He looked super duper slow. He was like galloping like a horse. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, yeah, I don't like Weaver, and I guess the line kind of reflects that. I guess everybody kind of like woke up and was like, hey, wait a minute, this guy sucks. Well, I don't want. Yeah, it's kind of mean to say that about somebody, but he's not. He's just not UFC level in my
Yeah.
opinion, and he's probably a nice guy too. I don't mean to like rag on him like that, but yeah, the odds are freaking out of hand though. Like 350, come on now. Like Roberts, good prospect, but like Jesus Christ, 350. Somebody's like
Look at
getting a little too heavy on the price here.
look at Brock Weaver's round 1, round 2 finish prices and Brock Weaver's sub prices. They're crazy, bro. Like Weaver in
Wait,
round
who?
1 is plus 325. Weaver in round 2 is plus 1650. Plus 1650. And his sub line is plus 1630. These lines are incredible. Like I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Like Roberts is great. Like he's probably going to win, but those prices are insane, dude. So I've
yeah.
already bet
Either way,
those.
I don't think the price is gonna convince me to take Weaver.
No,
Either way,
no,
no, because I actually think Roberts is actually a pretty good fighter.
he
Like
is.
I've seen enough from
He is
him
good.
to know that he's got something. The only thing that Roberts probably needs right now is just cage time. I feel like he needs some more experience in cage. Kind of. He also isn't like the most buffest dude in the division. Like he probably needs to pack on a little bit of muscle, maybe some hire like a strength and conditioning coach or something like that,
Yeah.
and maybe he might get a little bit better. But he's got a lot of really good fundamental tools. Like I see what he's doing here, and like he's fought some southpaws in his. I think Brock is a southpaw here. That's why I mentioned it. But Roberts, he's fought what is it, Horcher and Yakovlev in and yeah, just this he knows how to fight against southpaws. Like he's got the right type of footwork. He's got the right ideas. He's throwing right the right side kicks, to the body, to the head, low kicks. He knows how to line up that right hand. He's got a decent enough jab. He's moving his head the right way, and again, like he's doing all the right things. Like he looks like he has good southpaw sparring partners that he's practicing on, and yeah, he looks really good to me. Um, he's got some decent wrestling, even for a guy who doesn't have a wrestling back. He doesn't even have any combat wrestling. He don't have any combat background at all. But he looks like he's pretty well rounded in most areas, and his grappling is pretty good. and I see him being the better wrestler. I see him being the better grappler, and I see him being the better striker here. So I actually expect him to finish this fight. Actually, I took his finish line at plus 250, all the way down to I think it's all the way down to 170 now at this point. But I took him at 250, and I took him again at 210. And yeah, I see him getting Brock down. I see him outstriking him, getting Brock down, and giving him a steady diet of elbows until Brock gives up a neck and him snatching a neck up or getting the TKO here. So yeah, I like Roosevelt Roberts. He's got a mean fucking guillotine. Imagine if imagine if uh Cody McKenzie actually was athletic and a good fighter. That's what Roosevelt Roberts would be, you know, right?
I hear you, man.
So yeah, this dude, he's freaking like his subtleness of how he snatches these guillotines. Like, dude, this guy's got a fucking leverage. Like, I think in that Horchard fight, he had him like on the fucking fence, like like suspended in the air.
Yeah,
That was fucking sick, you know. And
those
how he
guillotines on the fence where they just have the person lifted up in the air are
that's
nasty.
just
Yeah,
scary,
they're
yeah.
so nasty.
Yeah, that's just fucking nasty, yeah. And this guy is fucking. He knows what he's doing when it comes to the neck. Like a guy with a guillotine that dangerous where he can catch it standing. That's a finishing move. Like that's a really good like a tool to have in your bag. And like how he caught what's his face, how he caught Horcher was Horcher had him pressed against the fence and he was like he was what's the word I'm looking for is wait, fuck I don't know why I'm forgetting things today. Uh, he had his elbow out. Fuck, I don't even know what the word for that is. He had his elbow out, and then Horcher kind of stuck his head where it didn't belong, and he snatched up a neck, and from there. So I'm not very articulate today for some reason, but um, yeah, man, he's got a good game, and the times that he's lost was because he got out hustled and taken down by Vince Pichel, who's a veteran at this point, and he's seen some shit himself, and I expect Roosevelt to kind of close some of those gaps. He knows the type of things that he needs to close up for his game to flow. So yeah, I'm pretty high on Roosevelt. I just don't like the price, his money line price. So yeah, I'm on him by finish, and I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah, I was one of the people. I was high on Weaver on his last fight, and that I just got out by the skin of my teeth. Like he was getting his ass kicked in there. So yeah,
Yeah,
now and then I watched some tape. I watched a bit of tape on Roberts, and I agree with everything you said. Like I just like him. Like he's tall, he's fucking athletic, he's aggressive. Like he, right from the opening bell, like in the Contender Series, like he just went after it. And I like him. Like and he seems like you said, he's good everywhere. Like he's comfortable in the clinch. Then he goes striking. Like I just think he's dangerous. I think Weaver is. He's kind of like he has the right heart for it, but like yeah, I don't know. He's kind of stationary and he seems a bit slow. So I think Roberts is going to out athlete him, and yeah, I agree. I think Roberts is going to find the finish, like maybe round two,
yeah,
round three,
and
like once Weaver gets
yeah,
tired.
Weaver doesn't look like the type of guy that's gonna try and like fight a smart game plan to where like he's gonna be smart with it, try to wrestle. Even if he tried to wrestle, I don't think he's gonna be the better wrestler anyways. But he's gonna oblige in a firefight,
Yeah,
So more the reason the fight could possibly finish. So yeah, uh, that's actually my most confident pick of the night is Roberts. So kind of meant some parlays as well. All right, next fight we have Billy Quarantino versus Spike Carlisle. Quarantino is negative 135, and the comeback on Spike Carlisle is plus 115. I didn't know too much about either guy before. Like I've seen their contender series fights and maybe some recent fights, but I like Quarantillo. He's a pretty solid fighter. I can see him like hanging in the UFC just because he's got some good cardio. He's a very aggressive guy. He likes to move forward. He's got some good boxing skills. He's not very sloppy. He comes in. He's there to be hit though. Like because he's always moving forward and pressuring forward. Like his his defense isn't quite all the way there yet. But I think it's his defense is kind of his offense where he just likes to push forward and move. And I think he's a black belt as well from what I understand. So he's pretty decent everywhere. He kind of reminds me of what's that dude's name? Man, today, what's wrong with me today? He reminds me of that dude who Yeah, I'm not gonna remember his name at this point, but good fighter though. I like him, and I'm actually gonna pick him here. I'm not too high on it just because I still don't know too much about either guy, but I think he's gonna win. Spike Carlisle is a weird dude. He's kind of a funny guy. They call him the Alpha Ginger, but he looks pretty fucking built. Like the guy, he's got some physical strength to him, and actually, despite being held at 150, so it's not at 145, it's 150. So I think I read somewhere where Spike is he's having a hard time with his cut, so I guess
Who's
he's
having a hard time with the cut?
waiting at 150. Spike
Oh, okay.
Carlisle. Yeah, because look at him, like dude's pretty buff, man. He's fucking
Yeah.
built. Like this is a fucking buff ginger. So yeah, but he's physically strong. He's got some like some weird strength, like some weird power where like he can kind of generate power at a very short distance, like how he did with his last fight. He kind of backhanded that dude, or like a back elbowed this dude and put him out. So this guy's got some weird power. And he looks physically strong, but like other than that, like I don't think he's that good of a fighter. Like he doesn't look like he holds guys down very well when it comes to the grappling. And his striking doesn't look that great either. His footwork doesn't look that great. He's just a guy who's kind of dangerous, and if you kind of sleep on him, he could actually put you to sleep. So I like Quarantillo's uh game a lot better. So I'm expecting Quarantillo to put it on him, and both guys are. It's a small cage. The both guys like to move forward, so I see Quarantillo getting off some good shots off of this dude, and maybe putting him away. I don't know, but yeah, Billy here.
Word. I like Spike Carlisle, but
He's a funny
I should
guy.
say I like him.
He's a funny
I like
dude.
him. I think he's a dark horse. Like, because I was watching tape on the previous fight, like Elon Cruz versus Spike Carlisle, and I was all on Elon Cruz. Like, I had bet him big, and Spike Carlisle, like, he just runs in there. He's a beast. Like, he's just a fucking beast. I think his ceiling is not very high, but like what he does is very effective. Super aggressive, and he grabs people and he punches them and he takes them down. Like, he just turns it into a dogfight, and he's very aggressive with the takedowns. So I feel like Spike Carlisle, like, yeah, he's just that guy that you think, oh, he's not that good, but then he just runs in there like a Tasmanian devil and wins. So I like him to win. I think if it goes over like 1.5, then I think Quarantillo can probably take over. I think he's overall probably better athlete, better fighter, but like I think Carlisle's so athletic and so just physical. Like, um, I definitely favor him early, and I probably favor him overall to find a way to win. But
Okay,
I agree, it's kind of
okay,
weird. Like, he's a weird fighter.
yeah, he's a very strange guy. Seems like a funny dude though, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like Quarantino's game, and I'm gonna go with him. So I'm actually gonna put a bet on him. So not yet, because I see that the lines are getting shrinking closer to evens. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, but if I can get Billy Q at a even, I'm gonna put it like maybe a half size bet on that, like a half unit size action bet.
Word, man.
Not some I would recommend to like a friend or something like that, but yeah, I'll play it for my own liking, my own action. So pretty good fight though. I like it. Um, okay, heavyweight fight. This is the co-main event. We have Blagoy Ivanov versus Augusto Sakai. Um, the odds are practically even. I like both guys. Blagoy is a tough son of a bitch. He's one of the toughest motherfuckers in the game. We know the story. He got stabbed at a bar fight one time, and came back like a year later or something at the fight. Like, and Sakai's a pretty good heavyweight. Like he shows a pretty good game. Like he's got some good Muay Thai. He's got some good leg kicks. For a fat dude, he looks pretty athletic. He's kind of he's a low key kind of athletic, and this is a good fight. And for a heavyweight fight, you don't tend to see heavyweight fights having juiced overs very often, but this one is kind of juiced. It's negative 175 for the over, which I expect to hit, but just I expected it to hit. So I mean, I'm planning on playing that, but I don't like playing juiced overs for heavyweights. I usually like to play overs for heavyweights that are you know closer to evens or better odds than that. But I do expect that to hit. And this is another fight that's going to be a really close one. And even off, really good southpaw. He's got a really good check right hook. He lands that pretty often, and he has good head movement as well. And again, like he's a really tough son of a bitch. He might have the wrestling advantage here. I'm not 100% sure. Sakai, like I said, he's a really good Muay Thai fighter. He knocked out Tybura in that last one, which was pretty impressive. Because Tybura, is generally pretty tough. So, but again, like in heavyweight fight, like actually that Tybura fight, I actually took the I didn't pick a side, but I did take the over on that fight, and Sakai knocked him out. I'm like, oh fuck, like every now and then, like heavyweights who are, they show tough chins, they get cracked every now and then because it's fucking heavyweight.
Yeah.
And that's why I like I said, like I definitely think this fight's gonna go over, but like to pay negative $175 to win 100 on a heavyweight fight in general is like it's like out of principle that's kind of a no.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So this fight I don't know who I'm gonna pick in this fight. So probably when it comes around I might play it over or something, but it's not something I would recommend.
Yeah, the overprice is like pretty fucking sharp from the bookies. Like they made it minus
Yeah.
75 on a heavyweight fight. Like
Hmm.
honestly, like that's a great line. Like I mean, they priced it right because Sakai, neither of these guys are like real bangers. They're like kind of very careful guys that find ways to win decisions. So it's a sharp line they made, which sucks for us. Uh,
Yeah.
I probably favor
Yeah. Sadly.
Sakai. Like I just think he's a little bit better. But man, this is close. It reminds me of one of those first few fights we broke down when you were like, it's up to the judges. Like I feel like this is going to be close, and even if your guy wins, or you think he wins,
It's up to the
who knows
judges.
what the judges are going to say. So that's probably what's going to happen here. It's going to be sloppy and close. Both these guys are, dude. Sakai's record is insane. Like when you look at his record, his only loss is a split decision to Czech Congo. So he's almost
Yeah.
like 15-0, which is pretty impressive for like any heavyweight to be undefeated. So
Yeah.
that's a
And he's
really good
still in his
record.
20s. He's 29,
Yeah,
young heavyweight. And if you really think about it too, Blagoy Ivanov is only 33 as well. So like by heavyweight terms, that's actually he's still pretty young
yeah.
himself.
If you look at his losses, they're only to like Volkov, JDS, and Derek Lewis. So like pretty good guys, right? Like those were his only losses. So these are both like I think this is an interesting. It's a very meaningful fight for the division. Like it's maybe not that
Yeah,
exciting or
I
whatever,
definitely
but
like
like
it.
those guys are both very strong heavyweights. Like as far as their careers, so it'll be interesting to see who wins. My prediction is like
Yeah,
a
I'm
sloppy
a fan of that.
decision, and it's like nobody knows who wins, and then the judges give it to Sakai. That's my guess.
Yeah, either way, yeah, this should be a close, tough fight. Both guys are evenly matched, so really hard to choose on that one. But yeah. All right, main event. We got Gilbert Burns versus the former welterweight champ Tyrone Woodley. Woodley is negative 185, and the comeback on Burns is plus 160. Woodley has been in and out of the fight game, and also in and out of love.
Fuck, dude.
I'm I'm about to I'm gonna splice in that freaking I'm gonna splice in that his song in the middle of this play. I'm gonna play in the background.
That's funny, dude.
I'm gonna all right, for the rest of this breakdown. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put that song in the background while we break this fight down. Um, so the chosen one, Tyrone Woodley. We know who he is. Woodley is he's got that right. He's got a fucking piston for a right hand. And he fucking yeah, like he's very accurate with that right hand. He's got a ton of power. We know this already, and he could launch that right hand like in a really short space, and that's pretty much all he is today these days. Like he's got. I mean, we know him as a wrestler, and back in the day, back in Strikeforce, he used to kind of wrestle guys and hold them down. But at
Yeah,
this point in his career, like he doesn't want to wrestle anymore because like it's a waste of his energy. He's not known for a guy who has great output or like. I mean, he has okay cardio. I guess a lot of people kind of shit on him and his cardio, but he's a guy who paces himself. But I can't imagine. I wouldn't call him a great cardio guy. But how they match up, like I can definitely see Woodley dropping Gilbert Burns. I don't know if he's gonna put him out. He could put him out, but I know at some point in this fight he will drop Gilbert Burns at least once.
Yeah,
Um, but who wins this fight, I don't know. I mean, like on paper, I think Tyron Woodley has the skill set to beat him, but like he's 38 now. He's like I said, he's been in and out of the game, in and out of love. I don't know where his head's at.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
dude's been fucking, you know, dude's been on TMZ or on Twitter talking about like calling everybody corny and shit. Like when he's like the corniest motherfucker in the game. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like he's weird. Like I can't root for this guy. Like he's always complaining about something. You know, like oh it's because I'm black. You know, like that type of shit. Like come on, man. Like this guy complains too much, and I don't like his. I don't like him. I don't like rooting for him. And
yeah. I think
um, I,
everybody feels the same way, man. Like Woodley is so
yeah,
hard to
he's so
like, dude.
cringy.
Like I kind of want to like him, but fuck, he's annoying, dude.
Yeah, he's fucking annoying, man. He got fucking butt raped by fucking Kamaru Usman in that 5 round fight, and then now he's always over here talking about like, oh, 5 rounds, I'm gonna take my drown Gilbert Burns in a 5 round fight and shit. Like, boy, if you don't knock that off, like, he's not even a 5 round fighter. So if Tyrone Woodley, like at some point, Woodley's gonna land that right hand, like I said, and I don't know what. And then other than that, like he doesn't throw much else. He doesn't throw much with his left. He doesn't. He's got some decent, like low kicks. But that's all he has. He's I don't know. Gilbert Burns, we know he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's kind of improving, but he's still kind of the same guy, sort of. He's a fucking Henry Hoof fighter. You know how I feel about Henry Hoof fighters. Like they have terrible game plans. They brain fight all the damn time, and I can see him brain fighting in this fight too. But Burns, he's been looking good. He's on a 5 fight win streak. Um, I can't imagine Woodley wanting to take this fight to the ground. Here's an interesting dynamic. Like even though Tyrone Woodley doesn't take people down, the the threat of his takedown is still always on the back of people's minds. Like when with Darren Till or certain strikers and things like that. And so like he does a really good fake. Like he's got this little stutter step. Where I don't. It's not a stutter step, but he's got some footwork to where like it looks like he's gonna shoot a powerful shot. And Robbie Lawler kind of had his hand down for just a quick millisecond, and he just lands that right hand. So the threat of his takedown is still there, but I can't imagine Gilbert Burns like being mad about that. Like if Willie takes him down, like that's Gilbert Burns' world. And what the dynamics of that, how it changes is, Gilbert Burns could kind of really flow with his striking and really commit to certain shots that he wants to throw and really like follow his own timing. Because like for instance, like here's an example. Like if Darren Till were to fight, Woodley. And if Darren Till kind of overextends, like he knows that Willie can duck under and take him to the ground. So that kind of on the back of Willie, Darren Till's mind, he definitely doesn't want to overcommit to something that he doesn't want to overcommit to. But with Burns, that's not the case here. Like if Willie takes him down, he's gonna say thank you. So, who knows? I can't imagine that. And then I don't think Gilbert Burns has the wrestling to take Woodley down either.
No, no, never.
So yeah, this is it's a very interesting matchup. I'm very intrigued by this fight, and and then that leaves the clinch. Like Woodley loves to back himself into the fence, and then launch that right hand. But who's better in the clinch? I don't know. Like I don't think Gilbert Burns is that great in the clinch either, and can really actually replicate what Kamaru Usman did. Who's also his training partner. So I don't know who's gonna win this fight. My head says Woodley's probably gonna win this fight just because Gilbert Burns' defense and his brain farts is probably gonna get him clapped out by a right hand. But and then also Burns' defense is like he just covers up. It's a high guard, so I can see Willie landing that shot right in between his guard or something. But if Willie can't put him out, I can see Burns actually um, kind of chipping away and being dangerous and finding a shot that's gonna hurt Willie somewhere or something and make him do something out of character. So yeah, for underdog odds, I wouldn't mind putting a little bit of money on Gilbert Burns, but I probably won't do it until the fight actually comes up. And if my night's going well, I might throw a little bit of change on Gilbert. But other than that, I'm staying away from a 38-year-old Tyron Woodley at a negative 185.
Yeah, dude, 38. It's old, huh?
Yeah, for a guy who relies on his athleticism, athleticism a lot as well. Like like that's usually the first thing to go. So you never know what shape
Yeah,
he's
it's
in.
like when did Tyron Woodley become old? Like that was never a part of the conversation, and now he's fucking 38.
Yeah,
Wow.
age wise he's old, but who knows? I don't know how his body's. I mean, we haven't he hasn't shown it yet that his body is breaking down on him. He still looks buff. He looks like he's in great shape. So I'm not saying that he's old as in like fighter age, but yeah, 38 years old. It's not that's usually around the time where MMA guys start to kind of trend downwards.
Yeah,
So historically, that's usually what happens. So I can't you know I can't bet on him. So
yeah. I just hope Woodley fights in this fight because sometimes, like I'm just remembering the Steven,
stares.
the fight with what's his name, Stephen Thompson, where it's just a lot of staring. Like I just hope they fight. I don't want to see a staring contest. I think Tyron Woodley, if he engages, obviously he's dangerous. So I hope they both fight and it's not just boring but
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a boring fight. Like I think you're gonna get your wish because Henry Hoof fighters they don't fight boring. They're blood and guts
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Burns will probably start striking or open it up a bit, which will, then it'll open it up. Like, yeah, I agree. I don't think Burns is going to watch. He's just going to stand there. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I think it's hard to pick. I agree with everything you said, and I think I'm kind of favoring Woodley. I'm like, okay, he's a champ. He's fought like a lot more high level fights. He's probably smarter.
Hmm.
So I kind of favor him, but yeah, you don't want to sleep on Burns.
Yeah, yeah. Like again, if I were to pick, I'm picking Willie to win. But if I were to bet on it, I'm not gonna bet on it. Actually, I can see Burns actually coming out the winner here as well. Like if the I don't know, yeah. Um, but I do I can see like I want to say that I feel like in this fight Gilbert Burns is gonna get dropped at least once. I
Which
just feel
is
like it's
scary
gonna
because
happen.
Woodley hits him
Yeah,
real hard, man.
yeah. He's gonna get dropped at least once here. So that's my guess.
Word.
Yeah, yeah. So as far do you see any props on this entire card that you like at all? Like anything you're staring at or like at all?
I like those
What you would
Weaver. I
recommend?
like those Weaver round by round props. I know you don't think he's going to win, but I think those props are insane. Like plus 1,300,
Hmm.
plus 1,600. Look at Weaver's round by round props, sub prop. Um, let me go back to the card and see what the whole lineup here. Yeah, I like Kenny by decision. I like Royval to win.
I'm not in love with the price, but I think it's gonna happen
Yeah,
here.
I think Jamal Hill is going to win a decision. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, those are probably the main ones.
Yeah. My favorite prop is actually Roosevelt Roberts by finish, so that's gonna be my prop of the
Yeah, I
card
like the
here.
over on the
Um,
Cyphers Dern fight. I like the over price on that. That's a really good price.
that's something to look for. Yeah, exactly. I might even look at Billy Corntino by knockout at plus 400, which is at plus 350 right now. So never mind on that one. I would rather take Corntino inside the distance rather than get greedy with that line here. But or like I'm actually considering Billy Corntino third round finish. I can see them like going after each other, and then uh, and that price is plus 1,150. So I'd throw a couple bucks on that. You know what I'm saying?
It never hurts, man.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. You know what, too? Just out of principle, because I have a couple of principles that I like to go by. I always look for overs on any card, on every card. I always look to play overs or try to parlay a couple of decision lines together because I mean it's brought me a lot of success, and I always do it on every card, even though I feel like oh no, he's not gonna fight. This fight's gonna finish. It's gonna go to decision, but it always ends up happening.
Yeah,
I think long term success is betting
I
overs.
agree totally.
I'm just gonna say that
Yeah,
right now. So, just a line that I'm kind of looking at right now is Brennan Royval by decision at plus 454. Out of principle, when it comes to flyweights tend to go to decision very often because they're flyweights, obviously,
yeah,
right? And you give me a flyweight at plus 450 where they're both gonna roll around on the ground like crazy, like squirrels, like you
yeah,
said.
yeah,
Plus 450, I'm gonna take that. I'm definitely going to take that decision line, even though Royval's style doesn't really lend him to win decisions just because he's on his back very often. But I'm gonna take it anyway without a principle.
yeah. It's a good
Yeah,
bet.
yeah, exactly. And then let's see, any other lines? Yeah, as far as decision goes, that's kind of what I'm. Yeah, I'm not too high in this card to be honest.
Yeah, there's no spots that I
Yeah,
really want to unload on.
yeah, I have some confidence in some lines, but the price is not, it's not something I don't like. You know, like I think Chris Gutierrez and Vince Morales goes over. I'm confident in that. I think Casey Kenny and Smoke is gonna go over. I'm very confident in that. I think Casey Kenny will win a decision. I'm very I'm well, somewhat more confident in that. Like I know those are gonna happen, but those prices are wild, like negative 300 and shit and up. Like I'm not gonna fuck with
Yeah,
that, you
yeah,
know. And Roosevelt Roberts, like I'm pretty confident he wins, but at negative, you know, he was at some point negative 270 all the way up to 350. Like I'm not
yeah,
gonna fucking pay that. That's
yeah. I
crazy,
agree.
you
The
know.
lines are a little crazy juiced.
Yeah, and then like originally I was really confident, like okay, Augusto Sakai over. I know I'm going to end up playing that, but when the odds actually dropped at that price, I'm like, I don't like it
Yeah,
anymore, you know.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you know, I got some confident picks, but the price ain't right. So that's the name of the game, and you know, I'm not here to pick winners. I'm here to play the numbers and win me money. So yep, that's the card.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah, we have a couple of cards coming up too. It can be some consecutive weeks of fights after going on a 2 week break. So, um, and all of the odds have been dropping on the next three cards. So, I'm actually going to combine some. Well, I actually already did it, but I combined uh Roosevelt Roberts, um, Casey Kenny, and over for Chris Gutierrez with some picks on the next event already.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I actually have a like a little wild parlay that I'm kind of excited about. So yeah, yeah. So